Hello my friends and welcome back for another YouTube video. This is Cassie. Today I'm going to be making a shaped card using some Trinity Stamps products, and I want to use this adorable You Lift Me Up stamp set and die. I just love the sentiment behind it, and those little bears are way too cute, and I love how there's dies to go with the sentiments as well. Then we're also going to be using the Bunch of Balloons die. I love this. I have lots of ideas for this die, so hold tight. There will be more. I just have some Not Your Mama's Heavyweight cardstock, and then I also have this stencil. This is the Cloudy Skies stencil by Heffy Doodle, and it's unique because you can put your cardstock in the clouds like that and kind of slip it in there and do your stenciling that way. So excited to use that. And then we're also going to be using some Rouge cardstock by Brutus Monroe. So I'll pull out this piece. This is cut to exactly the size of an A2 size card, and the biggest balloon in this balloon die set actually will fit an A2 size card. So we're going to just go ahead and attach this using some purple tape, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. And I'm also going to run it through on that Not Your Mama's twice. So we have 3 pieces. All right, now we're moving on to the stamping. I'm going to pull out one of the little bears and one of the little balloons, and I'm going to ink that up with some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I have a couple scraps of Express It cardstock. It's just a very smooth, super white cardstock. So I'll stamp 2 of these little bears. And then I'm also going to stamp 2 of the balloons on this other scrap that I have, because we need something on the inside, right? And then we'll move on to our coloring. So I'm going to start with a wash of E13, which now that I look back on it is completely kind of unnecessary, but it does help with the saturation. And basically all that means is it's by putting down a wash of color, I am already wetting the paper. So I'll move on to this next color, which is E25, and I'm going to color most of the bear with that. We're just going to leave his little belly with the E13 and the insides of his ears. And then we'll move on to some E29. That's going to be our darkest shade. Just around his face, we're going to add some shadowing and shading where I think it might look nice. And we're going to color both bears the exact same, so I'll only show you the one. Then I will try and blend out my color. And this is where the saturation of the paper actually helps a little bit. When there's more color on there, it does help to just keep the colors moving. And we'll add a little bit more shadowing and shading there, just blending out the colors just a little bit more. And then we'll move on to his nose, which we'll start with some R83, and then we'll bring in some R85 as well, and I'll also do that in his ears. For the balloon, I've started with B34. That's going to be my lightest shade, and then I'm going to bring in some B37. So this is how I do my balloons. Because it's a rounded image, I won't go all the way to the edge, and I'm even going to leave like a little like a rectangle at the top. If you didn't want to do this, or you weren't comfortable, or didn't think you could do it very well, you could just very easily come back in with a white gel pen, but I'm just going to keep adding some color until I'm happy with how those balloons are shaded out, and I'll do them both the same. So I'll pull in the matching dies and tack those down with a little bit of purple tape or washi tape or whatever you might have. And then I'll run those through my die cutting machine. And we'll have all of our little guys ready to go. This is what I was talking about as far as the stencil goes. So you can just slip your piece in there. I've pulled out some Simon Hurley Prom Queen ink. It's a very bright, pretty pink. And I'm going to be using some of the Trinity brushes. I went ahead, as I've said a couple times now, that I invested in the brushes, one for every color family. So I specifically have one for pink, and I don't have to clean off my brushes if I don't want to, because I'm keeping them within the color family. And the reason I did that is because I do stamp quite a bit. So, and I always have an issue making sure that my brushes are clean. Alright, so we'll just keep doing that all the way down the balloon, and it's fun because there's all these different edges to the clouds. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 technically, which is nice. You don't get that typically on those that are just around the edges. And so to get the soft blend, I'm actually I start out on the stencil itself with the color, and then I blend up into the cardstock. But I do like how nicely these all go together, and these brushes are just a dream. So happy that I went ahead and pulled the trigger and Got the little coordinating color pieces and the little magnetic tray because it's perfect. I can bump my table and it doesn't cause the little brushes to fall over. All right, then we're also going to do this just a little bit on the inside of one of the white balloons. So it's just going to be at the very bottom of this balloon. This will be, when you first open the card, you'll see this portion. I wanted there to be some clouds just at the bottom because you know I like to match my outside, my inside. So then I'll just kind of blend that a little bit and that's all ready to go. I'll clean up my mess and then we'd have to get ready to do our stamping. But before I do that, I am going to adhere my pink balloon to one of the other white balloons. This is kind of unnecessary, but I really wanted to make sure that this was a sturdy card since the pink cardstock is not quite as heavy. And the Not Your Mama's is like 130 pound, so it's pretty heavy duty. This will be a very substantial card. All right, now I need to stamp the little string on my bear. So I'm just going to stamp that on him. And then I am going to bring it in kind of on my piece of the balloon because I want to see where I need to stamp it. And then I can overlap those. There are a couple of pieces in there that you could use to stamp on the bear. One is this one, and the other one kind of looks like it's wrapped around him several times. But I liked this one. I like them both actually, but I just went with this one. Once I've decided where my bear is going to go, I'll just stamp my string down. And then I can adhere my bear and balloon later. But in order to do that, I actually want to put some foam tape behind them. So I'm going to wait. I'll stamp my other bear. And so here I'm putting the foam tape on the balloon and a few on the bear. Just to add some extra dimension to the outside of the card. And then we have to adhere our inside bear because he's going to be on this portion. And I wouldn't want to adhere the outside bear since there's dimension. I wouldn't want to adhere that one first because that will make the stamping of the string that much more difficult. So I'll just glue him down. And then I'll glue my little balloon down. And then we'll be ready to do that on the outside. So I'll peel off the release paper on my balloon, pop that down, and then peel off the release paper on my little bear. And we'll add that too. So cute. All right, for the sentiments, I've grabbed two of them out because one's going to go on the outside and one will go on the inside. And I have some black cardstock, this is some Raven cardstock. I'll use my magic powder bag on that, and then I'll ink those sentiments up with some Versamark ink and then cover that with the alabaster embossing powder. And then I'll heat set those till those are smooth and melted. And like I said, I really do love that Trinity has the little dies that will cut out the sentiments perfectly. It's just fun. So I'll tack those down with a little bit of purple tape and then run that through my die cutting machine. And then I did pull out some sequins. These are the Springtime Rainbow Confetti. I don't know if those are in the store anymore, but if they are, I will definitely link them. And I put those in my tidy tray, which is an essential in the craft room, because you can put all your little sequins in there and then they easily pour right back into your tub or your, little plastic Ziploc bag or whatever you might have it in. It just makes it that much easier. And then I'll attach down the inside sentiment. And I love these sentiments. We rise by lifting others. If that is not the truth, then I don't know what is. All right, I want to put a crease, and I actually should have had it flipped over to do my crease because this is such heavyweight cardstock. I should have done it the other way, but it's okay. I will end up doing it again. I try to crease that down. And then it's at this point I realize I probably should do it on the back side as well, just using my bone folder. This just makes it that much easier to open and close. And then I'll put just some liquid glue. I want a nice strong adhesive for this part. And then I'll just set the other balloon right on top. And I'll let that dry. And then for my final bit, I'm going to make a bow. So I've got some baker's twine. I don't even know where I got this. I had it for a hot minute and haven't used it in forever. So I'm going to tie a little bow, which is one of the neat things about this balloon die that I love so much, is how easily you can tie some ribbon to it, or a little bow like with the baker's twine. And so I'll just keep working that baker's twine until I am happy with the length of it. But it's fun. Oh my goodness, this is such a fun little card, and it fits so perfectly into an A2 size envelope. So, you know, you don't need extra postage or anything like that. But look at that, we have a fun little balloon. And there you have it, all done. We rise by lifting others. Thanks for the lift. I love it. Alright, so if you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already done so. I typically have 3 to 4 videos a week, and I would love it if you kept stopping in. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.